Hello guys, welcome back to Real Reds Talk. This is your daily news show hosted by myself. Joining me on today's show we have Adam Gray. How are you, mate?
I'm doing good. Start of a new journey today, so let's see how it goes. How are you doing today, Nick? I'll fill in for shares.
Yeah. I'm doing good. I'm doing well, mate. It's felt like the most kind of Sundayest Monday ever, to be honest.
I think the Queen's funeral's been on today all day, so there's been hardly anything on TV. There's been no shops open.
Emoji movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been one of them days, mate, to be honest. It's been a bit of a Sunday-ish Monday, but we've got the show today, so it makes up for it a little bit. Welcome to the show, guys. We've got quite a bit of stuff to get into. Some news surrounding Manchester United regarding recruitment plans, the striker situation, what's going on with Donny van de Beek, and me and Adam are going to indulge in a fun interactive game a little bit later on in regards to the World Cup, which Ireland aren't in. So if you're new to the channel and you'd like to support us, please click that subscribe button and like the video. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we can only do that with your help. So please help us achieve our goal. Right, let's dive straight into it, Adam. I want to touch on the recruitment plans. Laurie Ritwell has come out with an article basically providing information on this, and he said Erik ten Hag will use the break to evaluate his United squad and plan possible additions. He has spoken about planning for the January window, but Manchester United execs look at summer 2023 for the next chance to add properly to the squad. Also, it was Erik ten Hag's decision to go all out for Anthony rather than bringing a right back, which would have targeted if money was no object. And the very last quote, and then I'm going to ask you some questions on it. Ten Hag is keen to get the next stage of his rebuild, but funds are expected to be very tight when the winter market opens. So they're already putting out there that's pulling the purse strings a bit. Joel Glazer, Arnold and Murtaugh are focused firmly on summer 2023 as the next opportunity to significantly add to the squad. Just a quick kind of throwaway question to you there, Adam. What would you identify as a main priority going into these next, well, let's say the next two windows, because I don't see him buying anyone in January, but...
I mean, personally, you had to think about the spots that we filled in currently. We were crying out for a defensive midfielder. We filled that in now. And we also have one who's now playing in the best form of his career for us, who we didn't think. We have a left-footed right winger. That was another thing that we needed, particularly them two positions. We filled them in now. You're looking at, I think, in terms of bringing someone in, I'd also look at another midfielder, because I think we let a lot of midfielders go at the end of last season.
That you'd go for?
You see, preferably, I'm someone who likes balance in midfield. I'd like to have, like, say, one sole kind of, number 10, and then you'd have a box-to-box, and then someone who just sits there and defends. And you have that in Casemiro who can just sit there and defend. So, and the thing is, someone just like, I reckon even that he could have done a job like Ander Herrera, box-to-box sort of midfielder like that. I'm trying to think what names are in the market this day. It's hard to actually pull names out.
It was a shit market, isn't it? In a minute, even like any positions you look at, it's like, it's no outstanding. It seems like everyone's just kind of bought every player and it's a bit stale at the minute, isn't it?
Exactly. And then you're looking at the right back position too. I think someone to bring in a bit of competition to Dallo, and then you can kind of mix between the two of them. We need a striker.
I'm glad you've mentioned that right back. We'll get onto the striker in a second, but I want to ask you for your opinion on this. Is there an outstanding right back in football right now that you would bring in for competition, or even bring in as a starter over Dallo, or do you trust Dallo enough going forward now into these next kind of 6 to 12 months?
I'd actually trust him as our starting right back right now. I would, because I don't think he's really put much of a foot wrong this season, especially under Ten Hag. He looks a completely different player. He does than didn't he play against Arsenal last season when we lost 3-1? I think the defense was shambolic that game, and I think he got caught out twice in that side. But I mean,
because him and Tellez played, didn't they? And he was defensively so naive. The spacing behind him was just absolutely terrible. And if you look at that in contrast, I don't know if that was the point he was going to make, but if you look at it in contrast to the game we played recently against Arsenal, it was the worlds apart, wasn't it?
Exactly. It was a completely different player. and that's come from the coach and the Ten Hag. So I'd probably bring in someone just for competition. I wouldn't necessarily bring in someone like who is there right now. I can't even really name a name. Yeah, Dumfries. That was one that popped into my head, but he operates better in a back five, as you covered in your scout report that one video. So like you bring him in for a back four, but Erik Ten Hag traditionally likes to play a back four anyway. So like do you bring someone who's used to a back five, but he's Dutch at the end of the day, and we seem to be getting connected with a lot of Dutch players these days. So that's someone maybe who you could, but I don't know if he'd start right away ahead of Dalot.
I wonder if there's anyone out there like a Maguire in the right back position, because I'd happily take that for another 14, 15 million. Yeah. I mean, there will be players out there, but obviously we don't watch other leagues. I watch bits of other leagues, but only the top teams really. If I'm watching the Spanish league, it'll be Barcelona, Real Madrid, or someone like that. Same with German, Bayern Munich or Dortmund. You don't really watch the Dutch leagues, do you? Like the lower teams and see the talents in there. So I suppose that's for the scouting team. I say scouting team. We haven't even really got one, let's be honest. It's more Erik Ten Hag who's identifying these targets and being like him. Mm-hmm. And I believe if we have a summer like we did just gone, you can't complain with that. It's 5 out of 5 transfers that have really, apart from Casemiro, he obviously needs to adapt to the squad and get used to the pace and stuff like that. But if you look at Eriksen, hit the ground running. Lissandro, been incredible. One of the best centre-backs in the league for me at the minute. I want to ask you about Lissandro a little bit later on as well. Mm-hmm. Maguire looks great, young prospect. Like his ceiling looks relatively high. Who else have we signed? Antony, again, another one who's obviously got a goal on his debut, but it looks like he's going to be important. You touched on the left-footed right winger who's going to kind of keep that width, because Jadon Sancho likes to come in and it makes the play a bit narrow. So when Antony holds that width on the right-hand side, it just plays into the way Ten Hag wants to play more. So every player he's signed, when you look at his recruitment, has been bang on, and it's been players apart from Casemiro, really, which I don't believe was a target from the start. I believe it was like, right, you can't get De Jong, but Casemiro's available, so we can just throw money at him and go get him. And he's like, yeah, I'll take that. That's fine. But it seems like everyone knew he wanted at the start, and he got has worked. Would you agree with that?
I completely agree with that. It's actually refreshing for once that we can say we've had, for me, definitely a hit summer. In terms of transfers, we've got so many duds in recent years. It feels like for once we're onto a winner, and that hasn't happened that often. When you look in the past, who can you say? Ibrahimovic, Bruno. Who else can you actually genuinely name?
It's like that? 4 players that you can say. I mean, they did that thing, didn't they? When they did like the kind of tier list with traffic lights, like green, amber, and red, and there's like 2 in the green, I think, or maybe 2 or 3, and then the rest were all. So it just goes to show the recruitment's absolutely terrible. Bruno, Ronaldo, maybe for the first season, you can argue that he's obviously he scored 20 goals at the age of 37, so you could say that's a hit. But we have had some terrible signings down the line. You think of players like Morgan Schneiderlin, signing Schweinsteiger way past his prime and shit like that. It's just midfield. Like, yeah. Oh God, awful, absolutely awful. But it's in light of the recruitment now, it's changed. We're on the right path, and I'm actually looking forward now to the next couple of windows and see how we get on. Just one kind of final question, Adam, on the recruitment. What about the goalkeeper situation? How much of a priority is that, do you think?
You see, recently with the defence ahead of him now, a solid defence. You have to remember, I suppose De Gea, even at his current age, needs a bit of confidence too in the defence in front of him. But that being said, some of his best performances over his United career have been when he's been tested a lot rather than not as much. But recently, he seems to actually have gotten a bit of form back. He hasn't really put much of a foot wrong since Brentford. And I wouldn't identify it as, this is a major issue, we need to fix this. It'd be one of the last few changes I would do, but I think it is a change that needs to happen. And there is some great goalkeepers coming up. I'm going to say it as an Irish person. The Southampton keeper, he's young. Bazunu, I think is his name. And he's, I think he's only, 20? And he's the Irish number 1 he is. And he's really good with his feet. He's a big, tall lad. as well. But I think he came through the City Academy. He did as well.
Ooh. Yeah, but so we've had plenty of them, haven't we? With the Charlie McNeil, Jadon Sancho, both come through the City
Giggs.
Academy. Yeah, Ryan Giggs. You made a point there about Irish players. I was just trying to think off the top of my head. Then who's the last Irish player? Was it John O'Shea? Like recent, I'm talking about like
For us,
maybe Paddy McNair.
The Northern Ireland, yeah, Northern Ireland. You have Paddy McNair, I say, but
Is he Northern Ireland?
Republic. He's Northern Irish.
Oh,
yeah.
right. My bad. I thought he was Republic.
I know
O'Shea
for
then,
years
right?
we were linked. It must be John O'Shea, Gibson, Darren Gibson. I think. Oh jeez, and who else? That genuinely, I'm trying to think who we've had. But I know we were linked with Seamus Coleman for a season or two back in like 2013. I would have taken him. I would have been a dream.
Yeah,
someone come from all the way in my local town.
The Sligo defender. Yeah, let's move on then to talking about defenders. Let's move it to forward strikers. Romano's been talking to call offside, and he got asked if he thinks Manchester United will go for a striker in January. And he said it's not easy to predict things at this stage. It's absolutely too early. The summer market just closed. We need to wait at least until the World Cup when top clubs will decide their January strategy. He also said striker for sure is a position that Man United will watch in 2023, but depends on the opportunities. So it has to be checked in the next 2 or 3 months, maybe in the summer, a similar bit towards the end there. But what striker out there? I know I've asked you this numerous times, but obviously football develops, players start coming out the woodwork, and you see potential around Europe. What striker out there for you is the main man for the next 5 years? Because I don't want to go sign another Cavani, Ronaldo, Ibrahimovic, players that are past 30. That, Ibrahimovic had his injury issues. I know he was great for us, but he did have injury issues. Cavani was out for a full season basically and played like 3 games. And then Ronaldo's he's coming towards the end of his cycle now as a player. Who do you go get right now? Young striker.
You see, I think we've missed out on 2 targets. Like, I know it feels like we kind of dodged a bullet with one in Darwin Núñez, but you never know under the right coaching. Like maybe under Ten Hag's coaching, he could have been a better player.
Everyone's different.
You've seen
look at McTominay under Ten Hag now. Fucking hell, it's a completely different player.
Exactly, and sometimes it just takes different managers. Like sometimes the best coaches can't get a tune out of certain players, but some other manager can. It's just man management at the end of the day. So we don't know what's happening behind the scenes at Liverpool, but we missed out there. We were in for him. We all know we were in for him. He's a young lad who could have done the job for a couple of years. Vlahovic too, available in January, and I don't think he was near as expensive as Darwin Núñez as well. Those are 2 kind of young, kind of upcoming lads. And then Sesko was the other one that we were linked with for a while, but he's since gone to Leipzig now. So I'm just trying to think, the striker market is so bad right now.
Yeah,
so bad.
I think as well, the Sesko thing that happened, there was a little bit of a panic on it. I do like the look of Sesko. Yeah. I think someone like that, not for that price, I think he was quoting like 50 million or something, but then sold him to Leipzig for 30 million. So you're kind of like, well, is that just like Man United tax? But someone like that I want someone physical. Someone like Haaland, I know it's kind of impossible to get someone like, because it's a generational talent. They only come around in like 20-year conveyor belts, them kind of players. But someone who's physical, quick, get his head to the ball, good finisher, solid finisher, good on both feet. That is what I want. Obviously, it's a very hard kind of thing to tick off on your scout report to get them kind of guys, but you need that in the Premier League, I believe. I'm struggling to think myself. I know I'm the guy asking you the question, but honestly, I was trying to think so hard about it before, thinking who would I put my cap on and be like, definitely, I would go get him. There isn't one.
No. You see, the thing is, someone might pop up during the season. It happened with Darwin Núñez. Nobody heard of him before last season. Then he hit did he get 30 goals last season?
Yeah,
he did. Like he hit he hit that mark, and then look, all of some of Europe's biggest clubs are then in for him. So it can pop up out of the blue. Maybe that's why they're waiting until the end of this season, see who's doing well in different leagues. I know there was a guy. I forget his name. He plays for Bilbao, striker. He has a really good injury record. Inaki Williams, yeah. Never injured, but he actually did get recently injured there and missed his first game. Because he didn't miss, I think, a league game for, was it 5-6 years?
Yeah, well, he's someone who just he kind of fits into that category. Aside from maybe the finishing and the weak foot thing, but he's very athletic. He's relatively tall, good at heading, good in the air and stuff. So I think Ten Hag needs a player like that. Whether Inaki Williams would be that guy, I'm not entirely sure. But Ten Hag notoriously gets players like Tadic when he brought him to Ajax, like many other players he's had at Ajax, who a lot of people have written off. Haller, prime example, brought him in. And they've just absolutely set the world alight. So I trust him at the minute. That's the key thing. Whoever he decides to go get, it might not be a name that anyone knows, and some people might react to it like, "Oh, I'm not entirely sure about that. I don't think he's going to suit it, or whatever." And it could be. Go on.
Arnautovic, who's now the top goal scorer in Serie A.
Yeah.
What did Ten Hag see there? And Gakpo too, as well, who we were linked with. 9 goals, 9 assists so far this season.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
he's got 9 goals, 9 assists.
Yeah,
fucking
he's
hell,
absolutely electric. So I think that's someone who we should be, and he can play striker too. I think he's playing more striker this season. He's playing more central because I know he's traditionally kind of left winger, but he's playing up front. Maybe, who knows? He could get something out of him then at the end of next season, and it'll be cheaper because if he doesn't sign a contract.
I was just literally about to say that as well, because he's we was linked with 35-40 mil move with him in thing, which I thought was a decent price anyway, so it was even cheaper. Absolutely, I would take Gakpo for about 25 to 30 mil, and Gakpo wanted to move. You just know from like the rumours and the players surrounding him, everything that was coming out, he was waiting for that Manchester United move because he had other clubs like Leeds and Southampton going for him, and he was like, no, I'm going to stay at PSV now. So you could just tell 100% he was waiting for United. In regards to the January market, Adam, how do you see that playing out? Do you think we'll go in for anyone there? I know, obviously, with the quotes I've just said, that it seems like they're tightening the purse strings and trying to keep it hush-hush, but everyone always comes out with this line, don't they, that January is a hard window to do business in or whatever, but we bought Bruno Fernandes in January. We bought Vidic and Evra, in January.
Evra.
Do you see us doing any business coming up in the January window?
I'd like to see us maybe, if we could even pull one signing off like Malacia, someone who's not necessarily, expensive, but can offer something to the squad rather than buying for the future. I don't want to see another, I know it might sound harsh, another kind of Ahmed signing or another Palestri kind of signing. I don't want to see anything like that. I want to see, maybe that is another right back that we don't know, but I think we are being linked with a free agent. Is it Arias at the moment?
Yeah, the Colombian is or South American.
Colombian,
I think he is. Yeah, the right back. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we've been linked with him.
Yeah, I think because the line you're going to hear coming out of United, the closer we get to January window, is we spent over 200 million in the market and blah 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 and all this kind of shit. And it's like, yeah, you did, but you didn't plan to do that. That wasn't in the plans. No one can tell me, or any United fan, that they had that in the plan to spend 220 million. Did it because they panicked and they knew that they was going to get an absolute outrage from us. So I don't care how much you spent in the summer. The club generate that anyway. Manchester United generates 600 million a year. So, and it's not as if it's coming out of their pocket. It's generated from the club, and they've taken more than, I guarantee in January, actually, they take dividends. I bet they take 10, 20 million dividends because they do it every single year. So they can't come out with that shit. They said it last January, didn't they? When Ralph was in charge, it was I'm not going to get anyone. We're not selling Lingard, and just the calamity and disaster. But yeah,
and you know how we operate to how long it takes us to do deals. So there's no major deal that'll be done, especially within a month. The only reason we got Bruno Fernandes in was because we put the groundwork in over the summer for it, and we failed to get him over the line that summer, and then we got him late.
Yeah,
could have been a different season had he come in those couple of months earlier.
You mentioned Bruno Fernandes as well, and sticking with the midfield, Fabrizio's been talking about Donny van der Beek as well, and there was some rumours regarding Inter Milan and a possible move to there. Sorry, and he said, to be honest, I've never heard of this possibility. Inter Milan currently have 6 midfielders, so nothing going on. He keeps getting linked, but there's no kind of solid link, really legit. We're like, okay, yeah, that's probably going to happen. What do you see happening with Donny van der Beek at the minute? It's a massive mystery. I tried asking the lads about it last night, Aaron and Severe, and he was just like a little bit stumped. I don't know. I think he can succeed, but I just don't know if it's a confidence issue or Where's your head at with Donny at the minute?
It's a bit of a weird one. I don't want to like point the finger at that, but it's almost like he got caught doing something he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And he's kind of getting punished for that. Whether that's leaking, I'm not accusing him of it, but I can't explain it otherwise because the guy trains. He's being available for most of the games this season, and then especially when Ten Hag came in, I thought he would have been one of the first few names on the sheet because I think Ten Hag himself said last season it was. Did he say it was like a sin? I think he used the word sin that he wasn't actually playing. Yeah, and so it's honestly a mystery why he hasn't. I think was it in the Europa League he was injured. He did pick up a bit of a knock, so he wasn't actually on the bench at all, was he? In our last game.
I think that's why Fred started as a 10, to be fair.
Oh, geez.
So that name of the team sheet was like, oh, right, so Eriksen's going to play as a 10, and they've got the return of McFred again, and them two are going to be thing. And it was like, as soon as you saw Fred a bit higher up in the pitch, he was like, oh.
Now, that being said, if he was available for that game and Fred started in number 10 position, I'd say that his career is over at United. If Fred is starting over in the number 10 position ahead of you, you're done.
Yeah.
So I really, really don't know. Like, he's probably going to be on the bench in the next game. He is, and I'm at the point now, like, who was our next game? Like, it feels like ages since we've actually played.
Yeah, well, we've got Man City, haven't we, in the derby, the 2nd of October. He ain't going to play in that. He's not going to play in that. McTominay, Eriksen, and Bruno all play in that game. I'd put a lot of money on that. But then we've got, I think, Ammonia after it in the Europa League, so he'll probably end up playing in that game if I was to kind of guess. But in terms of his future, Adam, where do you think that lies? And can he be important this season?
I don't think so. I genuinely don't. I don't think he's really going to get the chance, and I think he is. He could be gone in January. I reckon whether it's another loan spell or maybe a permanent deal could be agreed. Like, but we're going to take a big hit on that. But I think there is a player in there still. Like, you can't just drop off completely. We've seen glimpses of the player too, especially in his debut when he came on. He was making late runs into the box, got a goal. I think we lost the game against Palace in the opening game of the season on his debut season. But he looked sharp, he did, and then he never got the chance. He didn't. The only thing I didn't necessarily like was him coming out and complaining about it publicly. It did put pressure on the manager. I know he done an interview. I think it could have been with Rio Ferdinand.
Rio's 5.
I could be wrong. Yeah, and I do think he came out and was basically, oh, I do want to play all this. I am annoyed and upset. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it, but
he did say that. Yeah, I think he basically said like he's obviously desperate for game time. He's trying as hard as he can in training, but he can't give the lads who was asking him the reason why he's not starting. He doesn't know because he feels like he's performing well and other players feel like he's performing well. So I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer damaged his confidence completely, like shattered it almost. Ragnick, when he came in, we thought, oh, might switch up a little bit there, but he stuck with McFred. And then you get to kind of the last nail in the coffee, like, right, Erik Ten Hag, the guy who made him as a player, the system that suits him, he will eventually get something out of him. And now we're, slowly approaching October, and you're like, well, what's going on? Because he's still not playing there. So is his confidence that much shattered? He does need to move away now. And it's like, you go to another league and reboot again and get yourself up to a credible level. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I don't even know I can't put my finger on what's gone wrong with him. I think it's in multiple things, basically. I don't know what you think, but I think it's not. I can't just imprint one thing on it. I think it's a combination of things.
It is. It's a combination of things. But the thing is as well, like, I could see him play for like a Barcelona. I think he could perfectly fit in there, and he'd play well. And I think he could be a regular starter for them if he went to someone like that. So he could play at a big club still. Like, his career isn't over, and I don't know if he kind of feels like, oh, it's in a stalemate now. But we kind of see that with players who look promising. We bring them here. We don't start them. By when he first came, looked fantastic, and we've seen glimpses of it then. And obviously his injury record didn't help. But for the most part, he was on the bench, especially when Maguire came in. And we tend to do it to a few decent talents. We do, and I'm hoping like whoever Ten Hag brings in next, whether it's a youngster. I thought something along the lines could have happened to Malacia, but he's played his way in and he's starting ahead of Shaw. So you have to put in the work. And I think Roy Keane said something along the lines of like, if you're not playing, well, make the manager start you. Like, put everything into your training. Show him why you should be starting. And I don't know if Donny's doing enough of that in training.
Yeah, there's a comment there from Aaron in the chat. Says, I feel there's a missed opportunity with Donny. Was the best player when Ajax had that Champions League run. Remember, Madrid wanted Donny and we just acted faster for once. Yeah, I don't know about the thing where the links with other clubs so we get him, because we've done that with Alexis Sanchez and look how he turned out. We've done it with Harry Maguire when City wanted Harry Maguire as well. Look how he turned out. So... Look, again, but it could be a case of just the coach, like different coaching and stuff. And he's obviously had 2 years now where, he's had terrible, well, not terrible, yeah. All this coaching was terrible. Well, Ragnick was just in a mess straight from the start. So, sorry. Okay. Snotty conk, I've got a snotty conk. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Donny van der Beek, Adam. I won't hold my breath because I think he just needs to move. I think it's stale. If he brings it back, I'll hold my hands up and be like, yeah, you've done well. But I said the same thing about McTominay. He's done. He won't fit in under Eric Ten Hag, and now he's a regular starter. A lot of things can happen in football in 6 months, as we know. So who knows? We'll see what happens. I want to move on to the last kind of part of the show. We did a similar thing yesterday, me, Severe, and Aaron. We did like a bit of a World Cup kind of game, but that was Guess Who I Am, and a few quick fire questions. So what I want to do with you today, Adam, is a World Cup 2022 best 11, and we'll try agree as we go through it. So from keeper to striker, obviously only the teams that are in the World Cup. So who do you think for you would go in the keeper slot in that team?
Well, Italy aren't in the World Cup, are they? They missed out. So my first shout would have been Donnarumma, but he isn't. You're looking at, who else is there? Neuer would be the one that popped to my head. I think it'd be one of his last, would it be his last World Cup? I think he's like 33, 34.
Potentially. Yeah, you don't know. Buffon went on until he was 40, when he was 41, but you would think it could be potentially Neuer's last World Cup, because it's another 4 years, so it'd be about 38, 39, maybe. Mm-hmm. But would you pick Neuer over maybe some of the Brazilian keepers, like your Alisson, Edison?
I probably would, yeah. I think I would. Mm-hmm. I'd go with Neuer. What about you? It's his last World Cup. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm a massive fan of Neuer. I've always rated Neuer. He's always been up there for me. And who's had a good season, especially at Madrid? I thought Courtois had a really good season. Especially in the Champions League. So he would be an outside shout, but I'd have to agree. I think I agree with you on Manuel Neuer. Mm-hmm. Right back, who would we have in the right back position? Do you think? You look at some of the ones that stand out straight away for me. Would be some in the Prem. You've got the likes of Reece James, Kyle Walker, Trent, but Trent's had a terrible season so far. Yeah. He's been pretty shit, if we're being completely honest. Who else? Who else have we got?
Morocco qualified?
That's a very good question. Right, I'll tell you what. Whilst we're thinking about right backs, I'll just get the squads who have qualified.
Because I know in a lot of the qualifier games, Hakimi played really, really well, and he was scoring some absolute bangers, free kicks as well. So if Morocco have qualified, they have.
Sorry. No, I was letting you think. They have qualified though. Yeah, they are. They're in Group F with Belgium, Canada, and Croatia. So you've got. I'm not going to mention the teams that you got like Qatar and Ecuador, but I don't think they're going to get in a World 11, aren't they, in the World Cup? No offense, but Senegal, Netherlands, England, Argentina, Mexico, Poland, France, Spain, Germany, Belgium, Morocco, Croatia.
I just had a thought too. For a goalkeeper, a Mexican goalkeeper, Ochoa, he always performs at the World Cup.
Ochoa, yeah, he does. He does, to be fair. This is what I mean. Tournaments are very strange, aren't they? Because you always get one that come out of the woodwork that you wouldn't expect. I was saying this again yesterday as well. Like James Rodriguez, when he scored that volley I don't know if that was World Cup or Euros, but everyone was like, "Whoa!" Everyone like kind of sat back and was like, "Who the fuck is this player?" And you get players like that, and Harry Maguire's performed well for fucking England. I'm not saying a lot, you know what I mean? He's done really well for us before, so yeah, you have some surprise shouts in there. But Hakeem, I don't think is a better right back in world football in a minute, or at least on form. I think Hakeem is solid. I think he's absolutely rapid. He gets up and down that right hand side more than most. He's quality on the ball. So yeah, I'd agree with Hakeem. So that's 2 out of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Centre backs is where it gets interesting. Who would you have as like a centre back pairing?
Harry Maguire. I know.
Varane and Lissandro.
I definitely probably throw Varane in, just the form that he's in right now.
Yeah.
And you're also thinking, you know who's being absolutely solid as well? Militao.
Militao for Madrid. I like Militao as well, yeah. Brazilian centre back. This is why I said, again, I'm going to ask you this, so don't give me who you think's going to win. I said I think Brazil's going to win because I was looking at the squad yesterday and I was like, holy shit, they've got so much potential. Like their attackers, Neymar, Vinicius, Firmino, Antony, Rafinha, the defenders that they've got coming through, like Militao. They've just got loads of talent coming through, and I think Brazil look like a decent prospect to win it. But yeah, Militao. Trying to think. Let me have a look. I don't know if I'm saying it because I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying it because United. I think Lissandro's playing so well at the minute, and I would have him in over a lot of defenders at centre back. I think Saliba for France, for Arsenal's doing really well. I think he'll go. So Saliba and Varane maybe might start. I'm not entirely sure. It might be Kimpembe. They've got Jules Koundé as well, France. Like, they've got fucking so many options. And Upamecano as well. Like, they've got a wealth of options at centre-back. They could play a back 9. They've got that many defenders.
Jeez, that's a Tuchel wet dream, that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, so, who else do you have at centre-back right now?
Ruben Diaz.
Lissandro. Ruben Diaz, Portugal. He hasn't this season. I don't know. He's conceded a few. He's looked a wee bit sloppy. I think it's almost like the dominance of him and Virgil van Dijk. What about Van Dijk too? Going to can he improve his form?
Potentially, I think on form right now though, I wouldn't put him up there. I don't think it's been that great, to be honest. I think it's been thinger. Marquinhos. I'm a massive fan of Marquinhos for PSG. I think he's a class centre back. Another Brazilian. It'd probably be Marquinhos and Militao, to be fair. For them in the World Cup. Any in the Italian league you can think of? We're pulling up. Obviously, the likes of Bonucci and Chiellini are getting a little bit too old now. Tomori, AC Milan, been doing very well.
He didn't get into the current England squad though, did he?
This one, the one coming up, he has. Is in the thing.
Has he?
I didn't think he did. And then I think it was Aaron who corrected me saying, he's in the team. But I would, my personal choice. What a player! I would say, I'd say Varane and Marquinhos. I think.
Okay. We both agree on Varane anyway.
Yeah. Would you say Militao's better than Marquinhos?
I think
your
so.
Personal opinion.
They're quite different players. They are. I can almost see Militao as that kind of almost like Lissandro player. I know he isn't the tallest, but he's rapid, fast, really good defender, really good reader of the ball, good ball playing centre back as well. But that being said, Marquinhos as well has often, dropped kind of a bit further, or not dropped, kind of gone more advanced and actually played in the DM role as well for PSG at times. And he's a good ball player as well. Yeah. So we both agree on a Brazilian anyway, we do. So it's a bit different. I'll say just let the viewers decide as well. I'll go Militao.
Okay. So Militao or Marquinhos, we'll put that out there for the Instagram and we'll see what they say. Left back, who would you put at left back? This is interesting because the likes of, obviously we watch the Premier League week in, week out. Robertson, another player who I thought was one of the best left backs in the league at the time. It's just not had a great season either. He's not been at his best. I actually think Zinchenko's looked good for Arsenal. I don't think Ukraine are in the World Cup though, to be fair. But Zinchenko has looked all right for them. I think. You know what?
I can't really think of. Cancelo hasn't really, performed to the levels for Portugal though.
You don't think Cancelo?
I don't think I don't think he's like to the level of what he does at City. Maybe but he's been a lot better the last kind of season anyway, a year and a half. Like he's put numbers up, and for me right now, I think he's the best kind of left fullback in the world for football. Yeah. I think he's great at everything.
I'll throw you some names.
Yeah, go on.
So we've got Robertson, Alphonso Davies, Theo Hernandez. Theo Hernandez is a good shout. He's a very good left back.
Yeah.
Jordi Alba, Guerrero for Dortmund, Ferland Mendes, Chilwell, Tierney, Sandro. I think Cancelo. I'd throw Cancelo in there.
You throw Cancelo.
I don't think there's a better left back than Cancelo right now.
I would agree. Yeah, I'd agree. But I think Hernandez was a good shout.
I like Hernandez. Imagine how quick you bring back to be there, Hakimi and Hernandez. Fucking hell.
Oh jeez. No, I am looking forward to seeing him play. I haven't seen him play that much, but I've heard good things, and from what I've saw as well, he plays quite well. So I'm looking forward to actually watching France in the World Cup, despite having a love-hate relationship with that country at the moment. So
yeah. It's one of them, and it from an just as a separate thing, just watching them play because of the depth they've got and the talent they've got. It's scary. France have got so many players. I think out of any team in world football right now, France are producing the most talent. They've got a lot of good players. So we've got a defence. Well, we've got Manuel Neuer in there, Hakimi at right back, Varane and Marquinhos or Militao, and then we've got Cancelo at left back, which is a solid start, it's a solid base. Midfield, do you want to do a 4-3-3?
4-3-3, I think, yeah.
4-3-3. So we'll have a midfield 3, and we have 1 6 and 2 8s. You want to do that?
Yeah, that's okay. Fair.
Who do we have as a 6 then? That's the big question. Central that you got Fabinho, Casemiro, Rodri. I think he wants the prime. But then you've got Kimmich. I would have Kimmich.
Yeah, without a doubt, Kimmich. Without one of the few players in world football. Even now, since we have Casemiro, I just take him like that. He's basically, it's actually hard to believe Bayern Munich replaced Philipp Lahm with an exact clone.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah. So, it actually makes you think, are they actually cloning people? Because Germany would be that one, no offense, but they would be a fucking country to clone people, wouldn't they? So he can play right back, DM, centre back. That's what I'm saying. So it could be Philipp Lahm's fucking clone. Because he plays a bit like him as well.
Aaron said Tchouameni.
Tchouameni is a great shout. I do really like Tchouameni. I think he's not a Kimmich level yet, but I think he's got the potential to get there. He's really good at DM. But yeah, we'll go with Kimmich, yeah?
Yeah, Kimmich.
Okay. I'm going to throw straight next to him as an 8, Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay. I think I know the midfield. Yeah. And I know who I want to put. I go De Bruyne too. And I already know, and you probably know who I'm going to say. Even at his current age, Luka Modric.
Yeah. I was actually going to say then, should we do a 3-2-1 and say it at the same time? But I think last time when we did that, we said opposite things, didn't we? And we was like, oh shit.
I think we did,
yeah. But maybe that was off camera. I was just came back to me now, the conversation that we had. Luka Modric, De Bruyne and Kimmich. Oh, what midfield that'd be. Imagine that. Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah. I like that balance.
A bit Frankie de Jong.
No. I've lost all confidence in him now. Yeah, confidence and respect gone out the window. I've got to buy Sam a bottle of whiskey because of him. So, yeah. Attacking wise, Erling Haaland isn't going. So you've got Benzema, the Ballon d'Or winner, Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo,
Neymar. And I'd put Neymar in. I genuinely put Neymar in. I think at a World Cup, he performs next level. And I think he's kind of due a good World Cup after what happened in Brazil the last time. He got injured, didn't he? Very badly,
I think he got a knee injury.
What was it in Brazil the last time? 4 years ago, wasn't it?
Russia.
Or no?
Wasn't it?
Russia. It was in Russia and the
2018?
French won it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
French won it. Yeah. Jeez, how times have changed in that span of time.
Crazy, innit?
Especially
We've had a
between
fucking
nations.
global pandemic.
Mm.
Yeah. A lot of
War
shit happened.
almost
Yeah.
involving one of them countries. But yeah, given even his stats this season are actually mad. He's on course to actually beat his
Let me get
record
him up.
for PSG. Yeah, do, because the last time I checked, I think it was 8. It could have been 8 goals, 7 assists, or something along those lines in like 7 games.
He has got. Let me answer it. Yeah, 8 goals and 7 assists in 8 games, which is nuts.
My knowledge, honestly.
Yeah, you've got
impress myself.
a thing with Paris with fucking I can't speak with Paris Saint-Germain. You've got like a thing, haven't you? So
little connection.
A little connection. So Mbappe's got 7 goals in 7 games as well. So not as impressive, but
no.
And then Messi's 35. Wow. 4 goals, 7 assists in 8 games for Messi.
I can't believe I'm going to probably do it, but I'm just going to say it outright. I'm not going to have Ronaldo or Messi up front. That could be controversial.
I think that is controversial, but I like controversial opinions. So
yeah.
So give me your front three, and then I'll tell you my front three, and we might have to leave that for the thing.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go Mbappe, Neymar, Benzema. And you know who's a good shout too? Thomas Muller.
Yeah,
always at a World Cup. Always performs.
Yeah, he's tried and trusted in it, Thomas Muller. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, this is so hard. Oh, I tell you who I'm having actually. This one a player you might have forgot about. I'll go with. Oh no, because then you can't have Benzema. I was going to say Lewandowski. Then you can't have Benzema, can you?
No.
I think Benzema's outperformed him. I think he deserves the Ballon d'Or. So Benzema's definitely in there as a number 9. Mbappe's got to be in there as a winger.
I know I'm kind of playing Neymar not traditionally in his traditional position. I'm playing him on the right.
It's hard, this. You know what? I'm just going to check his statistics now because he had his statistics last season was quality. Go on.
Dan said Mbappe, Kane, Ronaldo. Kane could be a good shout.
But then you can't play Kane and Ronaldo together, can you? Because of the striker situation. Unless you want to put Ronaldo back out on the left wing again, but I don't think he'll be doing much tracking back for you. I'll have Vinicius. Vinicius, Benzema, and Mbappe. Imagine that as an attack. Because Benzema can drop, give to feet, and you have Mbappe and Vinicius running in behind. Whoo!
Could have happened.
Okay, yeah, it's a good point actually. I was actually saying that on a fucking stream. Imagine if them three linked up, it'd be probably the most dangerous attack I've ever seen. But yeah, that's the attack I would go for. But again, we'll leave that to the viewers. So Adam's choice: Neymar, Benzema, Mbappe, and then with my attack we've got Vinicius, Benzema, Mbappe. So so it's basically either Neymar or Vinicius, and then Militao or Marquinhos, Brazilians again. So pick between them and let us know. Best young potential starting 11. Let's go through this. So goalkeepers, any young goalkeepers? Should I just get a list of goal? I'll get a list of goalkeepers up for you because
I'm trying to think of, especially in nations that are currently at the World Cup. I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I know who I'm having at left back. Anyway, I think we both know.
Malacia,
goalkeeper. Malacia, Alphonso Davies as well.
Oh shit, yeah, Alphonso Davies. Completely forgot about him. Young keepers. It's not a lot. I can think off the top of my head, to be fair.
Ireland third one, I could have said Pizzuno.
Dean Henderson. No. Absolutely not.
The WWE referee.
Get a shot, man. Meslier for Leeds, but I don't think he'll go with France. I quite like Areola. Go on.
Dan said options will be less on young goalkeepers starting, especially at the World Cup.
Yeah, it's a good point.
You might have to look at the bench.
I like Areola just as like an outside kind of shout. But I'm just checking. I don't know how old Areola is. 29. So we just say secondary. He's a secondary goalkeeper in it because young goalkeepers is relatively hard. So I'll just put Areola just to throw in there. Right back. Young right backs. Potential in the game. I should have thought about this before a thing because it's a lot of Dumfries, yeah. You know what? I'll take Dumfries. Absolutely, I will take Dumfries. Centre backs.
Saliba's quite young, isn't he?
Saliba. I'll take Saliba. Is
Saliba.
Militao young? Militao's young, isn't he?
I think he is. Is he 26?
24.
Or is he 24? Okay. I'm thinking him or Upamecano.
Upamecano we'll throw in there because Militao might be in the other team.
3 French people.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Alphonso Davies, left back.
Yeah, Alphonso. Yeah. He's ahead of Malacia. Tchouaméni, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you look at
Pedri.
You kind of above them. Pedri, yeah.
Barcelona.
Definitely. Barcelona.
Jude Bellingham.
Yeah. Pedri's looking good. Jude Bellingham. Yeah, that's it. Imagine that midfield for the next decade.
Pedri, Jude Bellingham, and Tchouaméni.
Is it Pedri, the young guy, who ended up getting that one's number? I know this is completely unrelated, but there's a video going around. So it could have been Valverde, Dan mentioned, but there's a video. I think it's Pedri. It could be someone else. There's another youngster, I think, from in midfield for Barcelona, but he was signing Gabi. It was Gabi, I think it might have been. Yeah, he was signing something, and some girl came up, took a photo, and when she was leaving, she threw a piece of paper down on his lap, and it was her number.
How young was she? Like very young.
Oh, I think. Yeah, she looked relatively young around his age anyway.
I bet he was like, "Fuck that off! Get that off my lap right now, mate." No legal charges flinging my way. So we're going to go to midfield. Tchouaméni, Pedri. Oh, go on. Go on.
Yeah. I just Aaron said Delish, centre back as well. Still young.
Oh, yeah. I'll delete. I can't remember the centre backs that we mentioned.
Him and Saliba.
Yeah, Delete and Saliba. Yeah, definitely. I will go with that. Nice balance that as well. Midfield, Tchouaméni, Pedri, and Bellingham. Did we say?
Bellingham, yeah.
Yeah. And then attackers. But Mbappe's in our thingy team in here, so I don't think.
Yeah, I know. You can't really play him.
Yeah. Young attackers. Would you throw Foden in there?
You could actually. He can play out in the wing as well, can't he? Pep tends to like to do that a good bit. I noticed it with Iniesta too. He play him out in the left sometimes.
Yeah. 1 second.
But Jude Bellingham can also play in the wing as well, can't he?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen him play, if I'm being completely honest. It wouldn't surprise me. That kid could fucking play anywhere he wants.
Dan said Saka.
Yeah. That's a good shout as well. I like Saka.
Anthony.
Ansu Fati for Barcelona.
Ansu Fati,
very good player. João Felix, I would probably throw in there. I think João Felix is class.
Straight away up front. He had a bit of falling out last night, in case you didn't notice.
Did he?
Oh, massive falling out with Simeone. Yeah, he was nearly chasing him down the tunnel, and he was just throwing his hands back like that.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Huge bust up. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so he could be the one to look at. Even for United, he could be someone to look at. I think he's a very good player, to be honest. So look at some of these. Martinelli, don't think he's ready yet. Vlahovic, I'm a big fan of. Massive fan. Serbia going? I think Serbia going to the World Cup, aren't they?
I think they are, yeah. They are, yeah.
I had the groups up before.
I think they are. Hugh shouts for Anthony anyway on the right.
Anthony on the right. So Vlahovic, Anthony.
Or Saka.
Saka's more proven in the Prem, but this is international football and it's World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you rather in your who would you rather have in your team?
Like as a starting nation, I probably prefer Anthony. I think he can do a job for Brazil. I know it's going to be a bit difficult getting into that Brazilian front line as well. But who do Brazil even have as a striker these days?
Well, they either play Neymar can play there, or they play like a false nine with Firmino. Yeah, they don't have like an out and out proper striker, do they? Unless you want to throw fucking Joe Linton up there, but yeah, they don't really have a focal point like a target man. Brazil, to be honest, I would say Vlahovic, Ansu Fati, Antony. That's the way I would go.
That's a good. Yeah, I definitely agree on Vlahovic. Ansu Fati too, and I just think
throw some at me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else do you have young striker up front. Take note as well for United as well.
Because if I was playing career mode right now, I'd have them all in like 22 and under. I'd know more straight away. But
I do like Saka. I think I put Saka. Okay. I prefer like in an international scene. I think I prefer Anthony, but I'm just going to put Saka in the team anyway, just to agree to disagree.
Yeah,
and let people decide.
Over Foden.
Damn, you put that. That's a good point.
I'd have Foden over both of them.
I put Foden instead of Ansu Fati. So Foden, Saka, Vlahovic.
I like it. So, can we remember who we picked? Goalkeeper, Areola. Yeah, that's what Gary Neville said. That. Have you seen that meme? Goalkeeper, Areola.
Yeah.
That song. Right back. God, my memory is so bad. Dumfries. Centre back, we had Saliba, De Ligt.
Yeah.
Left back,
Alfonso
Davis. Midfield, Tchouaméni, Pedro, Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
Then we had Foden, Vlahovic, Saka.
Saka I had.
Right? We got there. God, my memory is so bad. I need to get fucking tested. Then the last final questions. Predictions for it, Adam. Who do you think will win the World Cup?
I'm probably just going to go with the favourites again. I think France, the talent that they have is next level, especially with the two Madrid boys now. They could be in the starting 11, given Pogba isn't playing. So Pogba could be a big miss for them because he usually does perform on the international scene as well. But they have a person to fill in. They have like 2-3 different people who can fill in. I think Tchouaméni and Camavinga, I think they'll do a job as well. I think they're all ready to play at that level in the World Cup, and I think France is way too strong.
Camavinga is a very good player. Yeah, they've got so much fucking talent. It's actually like it's not fair, really, is it? The amount of talent they've got coming through. They've got so many options. Their C team could probably be about 60% of the World Cup, 70% of the World Cup, like the teams that are actually in it. And if Qatar reaches the fucking semi-finals, you know what's going down there, don't you? If Qatar gets in the knockout stages, they haven't even name one fucking Qatar player. So you think France are going to win it? Who do you think could be potential dark horses?
Oh, you know who I'm going to go with, and people are going to be like them as dark horses, but not many people are shouting for them.
Spain, yeah. Well, they're not the obvious ones, are they? Because of how they performed recently in tournaments, they haven't been right up there. Yeah. But yeah, why? Any reason why you would pick Spain? Do you think because of the young talent they've got coming through, the coach? Maybe Luis Enrique is a good coach, isn't
he? Yeah, I think Enrique, there was a lot of shouts for him to leave the role, so maybe I think it's his last tournament as the Spanish manager. So I think he wants to go out in a high. I think the players are going to buy into that. We pointed out Rodri. They have someone who's arguably the best DM in the league right now. They have young talent coming through. They have there might be a bit of this, between Piqué and Gavi as well. It depends who they bring into the team, but I really am looking forward to seeing what do you call it? Who do we say in midfield as well? I get mixed up with Gavi. Pedri. I get mixed up with the two of them the whole time.
I do.
For him,
I
I
do
think,
as well.
I think he'll be fantastic in the World Cup. I think they have a decent enough team, and they have a good selection of goalkeepers as well to do. And having seen like the likes of all these, kind of Sevilla, they have those players who you mightn't kind of always recognize, but they do a job. So I think they could go into the competition. I think they could even, maybe fourth in the third place playoff. They might lose, might finish fourth.
Okay, interesting.
They're used to the heat.
Pardon?
They're used to the heat as well, because that's going to be a big factor.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I think, don't they have like air conditioned stadiums now? Didn't they build, because of how hot it was? They had to build in like a proper ventilation kind of system. I heard something about that.
I hope they've done it for the
stadium.
workers that were making it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what they would have fucking died making. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I said Netherlands, and again, not dark horses because they're a team that are up there, but I think they'll perform really well. They've got a lot of talent in their team, and they've been every time I've seen them when they've played recently international, they've done well. The last question.
Again.
Yeah, exactly. The last question I want to ask: Golden Boot. Who do you think? Benzema, Kane, Mbappe, Ronaldo, Neymar, Muller.
I'm really thinking. Yeah, Muller is a good shout. He's always up there, no matter what. I think my mate has put a bet on him each way to always finish top goal scorer in the last two World Cups, and it's happened. I think if they can play to his strengths, Benzema, I think could go on an absolute tear, especially in knockout.
Was it Kane?
Kane.
Kane. Yeah.
It was Kane, yeah.
Okay. So who do you think? Benzema, do you say?
I think Benzema, yeah. If they can play to his strengths, especially in the knockout stages, we've seen he can be an absolute monster in the knockout stages in Europe. So I think he can do that on the international scene.
I think it's going to be a Brazil and France final if they don't meet each other like in the thing.
Yeah, I actually do think that's going to be the final too.
Yeah, and I think Brazil will win.
What a final that'll be.
Oh, yeah, that'd be class. But let's be honest, what we all really want is Ronaldo versus Messi, Portugal versus Argentina. Like that would be an absolute spectacle. I would love that because it'd just be like the amount of shit that's gone on between them through history, what they're competing for. If one of them picked the other to World Cup, it'd just be so fucking
at the end
massive.
of their career too.
Exactly. And one of them scoring in it as well. You can't make that shit up. That is like a fairy tale. To see that two of the greatest players we've ever seen in our life.
But you know what the thing is? Even like if you pick one, whoever wins that, hypothetically, I can imagine the photos. I think the two of them would show great respect to each other even after it. And I think that'll go down as, if it happened, one of the greatest sporting moments ever. Could be the greatest sporting moment ever. I know you put that in my head, and I'm going to be disappointed if that's
that's what I mean. Imagine like the exchange shirts, like Ronaldo wore a Messi shirt, Messi wore a Ronaldo shirt. They both got an arm around each other, and there's like a World Cup in between. It'd just be fucking nuts. But how competitive they are, I have a feeling that if Messi's done it with Argentina, I don't think Ronaldo will be swapping his shirt and arm around him, started taking the picture. But you could get a lot of iconic shit out of that game, and I think for football as a neutral, look, if you ask me, would you rather England get to the final or see Ronaldo versus Messi, Portugal versus Argentina? It'd be a tough question to ask. I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to lie. I think that'd be a fucking spectacle, and I'd love to see it because it's this tournament or nothing, really. Ronaldo's 38 now. Messi's 35. They're pushing on. So this is the last super competitive tournament probably that they're going to play in. Very interesting. Definitely. Yeah. Let's see what happens with it. It's not long now. I think November, so literally a month and a half away, something like that, 6-7 weeks, which is going to be very weird in the winter and not being in the beer garden watching it.
That's what I was going to say. I'm used to sitting out in the sun watching the World Cup on a big screen with a beer in my hand. We're going to have to change to hot whiskies instead and jackets.
You'll have to, I know you're an Irish at heart, but you'll have to come over to England and watch a game or something. When you come over to Manchester, come watch a game with us. Yeah, 100%. Okay, guys.
I'll keep my mouth closed.
Yeah. Well, celebrate, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. I'll be drunk anyway. So, right, guys, that concludes the show for today. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and like the video. Be sure to follow us on social media to keep up to date with everything surrounding Manchester United. All the handles are at the bottom there on the screen, so you should be able to find your way, or just go to the link in the video description. We'll have a full week of content for you lot, so don't worry. We've got you covered for the international break. I know it's very boring and people don't like watching international football. That's including myself. So we'll have every day covered pretty much. And thank you for coming on, Adam. Do you have any kind of parting thoughts you wish to share before we head off?
Just everyone, who do they think is going to win the World Cup? That's the big one now. And don't comment not Ireland anyway.
Yeah. They're not in it, so
no,
don't worry about that.
We avoid the sunburn. We do. Look,
yeah, you have to take the positives out of everything. I see what you're doing there. Exactly. Cool. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Me and Adam will see you in the next one. Peace.
Yes.